to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So like I told you guys, I did go shopping with one of my friends and we went book shopping. Did buy a few books, but I did buy 4 that I was intending on buying there anyway. Because like I told you guys, I wanted to buy the rest of the series of Magnolia Parks. So I did buy the other 3 books that I needed from there. And I actually had a $5 reward, so they only ended up being $16 each rather than $17. So it pretty much takes like 85 to a dollar on 85 cents to a dollar off of each book. So it's not as expensive as you think they would be. So I thought that was pretty good. I mean, even though I got the 1st and the 5th one for like $5 each, I'm willing to pay a little bit more for those books because they're like nicer paperbacks. Like for me, I won't really spend more than $15 on a paperback if it's something that I really want to read, or just if it's like $14.99, I'll usually spend it. But I actually got these for pretty good prices, so it wasn't that bad. So I primed my eyes with, and then we went to the mall and we got food because I was really hungry at that point. So we ate at like 5. We went to like this Japanese place there that we've actually never been to before. It was really good. And then we went around the mall for a while. We went around the mall for at least an hour and a half. So yeah, it was fun. So I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I used the ColourPop Pokeball, and then I set my eyes with the Urban Decay pressed powder. I wanted to go to Hot Topic to look for dresses for Comic-Con because I did get Comic-Con tickets this year with my friend Chris, and we're going to go in October. I'm sorry, I'm really tired. And we usually always get, I always get a dress from Hot Topic, and this will be my 3rd Comic-Con this year at this point. Because I went last year and the year before, and I love it so much that I couldn't wait to go again, so. And I'm actually finally going with the friend that I saw today, because we keep on talking about that we're going to go together, and every year she forgets to tell me, and now finally this year she told me that she got her tickets, so we just got them at the same time that she did. And then for my eyeshadow palette, I went into the ColourPop Pokemon eyeshadow palette. I think I told you guys that I wanted to do a blue look with this today. So I just used these 4 colors again. So I went into Cerulean City in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with SS Anne. And then for the lid, I went into Indigo League. But I don't know why it's creasing here. That's just me. I don't know why that happened. But I finally got to use this dark blue shade. And it's really nice. I really like it. I think I need to use this one again, though. Or maybe I did use it. So I think the only shade I have left is the red. I've used all the other shimmers, and I think they're really, really good. And then for the inner corners, I went into Evolution, which is like this really pretty blue shimmer. So that's everything I used from the palette. And then I just used Brighter Days from Blend Bunny on the brow bone. And then for my waterline, I just went into the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Crystal Crush. And then I primed my lashes with the Essence Lash Primer, and then I used the Amico Lay Mascara, and then I went in with the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes, and then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. I'm so thirsty right now. I didn't really get to drink that much water today. I mean, I did have some water when we were eating dinner, but we got like this gelato after dinner, and just made me so thirsty, so I'm gonna chug like 2 glasses of water after this. And then for my foundation, I went into the Glossier Stretch Foundation in the shade Fluid Light, very light. And then for my concealer, I went into the Urban Decay Naked Quickie Concealer in the shade 10NN. I'm pretty tired now, so I can't wait to like relax. I'm seeing my other friend tomorrow, and then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder, and then I set my face with the Urban Decay pressed powder. And then for my bronzer, I went into the Pat McGrath Labs bronzer in the shade Naked Desire. And then I set my, I went in with the House Labs blush in the shade Pomelo Peach. Just because I wanted to use that today. Words are leaving me. I'm just tired. And then for my highlight, I went into the Mermaids Highlighter Palette by Lime Crime. and I just used the only two shades that are in the palette because this one fell out so long ago. So this one's the shade Mermaid, the blue, and the white is called Pearl, and I just mixed those two together. Sorry, I blinded you with that. And it's just a really pretty, like, bluish white highlight, and then I set my face with the Milk Makeup setting spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went into ColourPop's Minute Man lip liner again. And then for my lipstick, I went into the ColourPop Hocus Pocus Lippy in the shade Calming Circle because I just wanted something peachy. So again, I usually always use peach when I use blue or green or purple eyeshadow because it's always such a good complementary color. That's everything as far as my makeup goes. And then as far as a reading update goes, I did finish Riley Sager's Middle of the Night this afternoon. I was going to try and finish it last night, but honestly, I really could not read any more of it yesterday. I had already read 100 pages yesterday because it was on 172 yesterday, and then I got to page 280. So I was like, I'm just going to finish the last 85 pages today. I freaking hated that book. That is the worst book I've ever read. I gave it a 1 star. And I've never rated anything 1 star before. This just was so boring. No redeeming qualities about any of the characters. Just completely one-dimensional. The twists were so easy to guess. And once the twists happened, there was only one part that shocked me a little bit. But besides that, everything was anticlimactic. Like, just literally... And just, like, some of the twists are never explained. There's so many plot lines that are introduced but are never actually going anywhere, and just like introducing pointless POVs that don't really matter. So, and just, oh my God, screw like mentioning middle of the night too many times. There was one phrase that he literally mentioned twice in a 2-page time frame. Like on the first page and the second page, he said this same phrase, and I'm like, and then he said it like 10 pages later, and I'm like, dude, like and of course it has dude in the phrase. It was like Billy's last message to his best friend. I mean, yes, it's sad what happened to Billy, and honestly, it's pretty messed up on what actually happened to him, but they never explain how one of these drivers actually gets access to a car. They never really explain the relationship that we thought was going to be further pursued in the book. There was also the other twist where another character is actually dead that you didn't know that they were dead, and that was the only thing that shocked me. I was just like, but then after they explained it, I was like, oh, it's like from something that was sad, but like at that point, I did not care. It felt like it was so much longer than it actually was. Like I said, it was only a 365-page book, and I was reading this book for four and a half days, I think. I started it on Saturday night, and I didn't finish it till this afternoon. So I wasted 3 full days on it, and then like Saturday night and this afternoon. So like almost 4 days. And I hated it. And I even went back to some of his other 2 books that I read, which was the only one left, which is my favorite book from him, and The House Across the Lake, which I'm not a huge fan of that book, but I went back to it, and I already saw that the writing was way better, even in The House Across the Lake. This was just so repetitive. He never stopped saying, this was the phrase, Hakuna Matata, dude. It just sounded so ridiculous. And I'm going to go on such a rant when I talk about this book, but it's just, I really feel like Riley Sager is a very ignorant, self-centered author, because I've seen like all these things about him now that I don't know if I'm going to waste my time reading any of his other books. I'd rather read Freida McFadden because at least her thrillers are free. I have some other good thriller reads that I want to read. So since I finished that pile of garbage, I'm going to start Then She Was Gone Tonight by Lisa Jewell. And I've actually been really intrigued on reading this book. And I really want to read Lisa Jewell. And I got this book for like $5 like 2 months ago. And I really do want to read it. So that's the next book I'm going into. But I'll show you guys really quick what I got from Barnes & Noobs. So I got this book called Splintered by A.G. Howard because my book bestie that I went with, she recommended this book to me, and usually every time me and her go to Barnes & Noble, I end up picking up a book that she's recommended, and this one was only $10.99, so I thought it was a decent enough price for me to get it. And this is supposed to be a Alice in Wonderland retelling, so now I feel like I'm going to have to get the rest of them, but they didn't have the second and the third, they only had the first book, and then I think like the fourth and the fifth one, but I'm really excited to read this at some point. I also picked up the third book in the Neon God series, which she also did recommend to me, but I have the first two, and I really do want to read this because I actually started reading the first couple of pages just to see how it was, and I'm already like loving it. It's just like so easy and fast paced, and it's about Greek and Roman gods. So I picked up the third book in the series. I have the first two, and I picked those up the last time we went to Barnes & Noble together because she recommended that series the last time we went, which was like a few weeks back. And of course I haven't started it yet because I have too many series to read. And then I picked up this one. I was actually surprised that this one was a decent enough price for me to get. But I just added this to my TBR like 2 days ago, and I've been seeing this on Instagram quite a bit, and I saw it on Instagram a couple days ago that I finally added it to my TBR. I was like, I don't know why I haven't added this. The cover is so beautiful. But I got The Song of Silver Flame Like Night by Amelie Wen Zhao. And look at this cover. Isn't it so beautiful? And the second one is called Dark Star Burning Ash Falls White, but it's only in hardcover, and it was like 20-something bucks. But this one was $12.99, so I thought that was a good price. So I decided to pick up the first book, and this is on my TBR. All these books are actually on my TBR except for Splintered, because I've actually never heard of that. I only picked it up because she recommended it to me. And then, like I said, I definitely was going to pick these up regardless. If I didn't end up picking up anything else from Barnes & Noble, I was still going to get these. So I think, what is the order? They never tell you the order of these. So I picked up the rest of the Magnolia Parks books. So I think this is the second one, Daisy Hates. And I also picked up, I think this is the third one, Magnolia Parks, The Long Way Home. Or maybe this is the fourth one. And Daisy Hates The Great Undoing. So I'm definitely reading these. I've been thinking about picking these up for months from Barnes & Noble. And they ended up being $16 each instead of $17. So I really won't pay more than $16, $17 for a paperback. But I'm so excited to have these. These are going to be my series for July, I think. Even though I was going to wait till August to read these because I was going to read them in my birthday month, but I think my birthday month I'm going to read the Shatter Me series, so I'm going to definitely 100% read these next month. This one has a little bit of a scratch mark on it, and it also has, but it's okay. It doesn't really matter. It's not like I could take these back anytime soon. This one's a little bit banged up in the corner, but honestly they're fine. Sometimes people like bend the books in freaking Barnes & Noble, and it pisses me the hell off. Like, I hate when people like mistreat books. It just, you know, like for people to mistreat other things, like people are just animals when they look at some things. Like Marshall's makeup section is a disaster, like. But sometimes in Barnes & Noble, like, some of the books can be, like, bent back. And I was like, who the hell was looking at these? Like, how can you treat books like that? So, yeah. So, probably going to end up reading this. Even though I'm dying to start Magnolia Parks, to be honest. I really, really, really just want to read Magnolia Parks. But I was trying to stick to my TBR for the rest of the month. Maybe I'll read this and then the next book that I'm reading, and then maybe I'll just start Magnolia Parks next week. I think that's what I'm going to do, because at least I can knock out these 2 books that I have before the week is over. So, yeah, that's it. Bye. Hey there, guys. I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for yesterday, because I actually got home pretty late last night because, like I told you, I saw one of my friends. I still haven't been sleeping that great. I probably should go to sleep earlier, but I haven't really been sleeping well, so... And I have to go to the city tomorrow. I think I need to take my quilt off my bed because I feel like it's just been way too hot. Today is 90 degrees outside. So I think I'm going to take my quilt off my bed tonight. I also forgot I needed to do laundry today, but that is just not happening. I never have time for anything. I'm sorry about this stupid pimple, but it is what it is. So I went and saw my friend yesterday out in another town here. And, like, basically it's like its own separate city. Like, Long Island is so big. And I went over there yesterday. It's like a 40-minute drive, so it is kind of far, but I only go out there maybe like 3 to 4 times a year, so I do like driving out there to see him, and usually, like, when we see each other, we always switch off as to if I'm coming over there or he's coming over here, so we always switch off and see each other, like, every other time. Or, like, sometimes we'll, like, meet in the middle and, like, meet somewhere for dinner that is close for both of us, that, like, might be 20 minutes away or something like that. So, yeah, it was just really fun. So I really love going out there in the summertime, though. Like, yesterday was the first official day of summer, and it's just beautiful there. There's a huge boardwalk. Like, that town is, like, pretty well known for the boardwalk there. The boardwalk is so beautiful. And it, like, runs, like, the entirety of the beach. So we walked, like, probably a mile down the boardwalk to go to the food place that we wanted to go to. And he actually, like, parked in a decent place so we could walk a little bit. But what was funny is that after we ate, he was like, I'm kind of not looking forward to walking back. And I was like... You're the one who parked over there. And he's like, I know, and I wanted us to get a decent amount of walking in because, like, you know, I need to be a little bit more active. But I'm going to be walking a lot tomorrow because I'm going to the city tomorrow. So hopefully tonight maybe we'll sleep. I think I'm just going to take the quilt off the bed. That might help. And I'm going to try and go to sleep earlier. So anyway, I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I used the Pokemon Pokeball, and then I set my eyes with the Urban Decay pressed powder. And then for my eyeshadow palette yesterday, I used the Ensley Rain Cosmetics Groovy Garden palette just because I felt like using it. And this didn't really crease too much, but for some reason my eyeshadow was creasing, like, on the outer corner yesterday, but I think it's just because... Again, we were walking in the wind, and I did put on more brown shadow before I left the house, but then for some reason it was creasing. Not in the car, but, like, by the time we got to the boardwalk and, like, by the time we sat down and I looked at my eyeshadow. But I was wearing sunglasses anyway, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. But I just wanted to use, like, the peachy shades in here yesterday, and I just love this palette, so I want to use it as much as I possibly can. So I went into Mystic Mauve in the crease, then I darkened up the crease more with Foxy, and then I used a combo of Hazy Dreams and Dig It on the outer corners. And then for the lid, I just wanted to use the shade Jazz. It's just such a beautiful, like, peachy duochrome color. And then for my highlight of the brow bone, I used Free Thinker. Why did I say it like that? To highlight my brow bone, I used Free Thinker. And then for the inner corners, I used Moonchild. So that's what I used today. I know that there's been like quite a few like new palettes coming out lately, and I have been tempted by them, but I think the only one I'm gonna pick up is one of the new Cliona palettes, because I was interested in the new Simply Posh palette, and which I am kind of debating on getting that one too. But I've been kind of more picky and choosy with the palettes that I pick up this year. Besides the two Ensley Rain palettes, the Nomad Stargazing palette, the Pokemon palette from ColourPop, the Beauty and the Beast palette from ColourPop, and I think the Golden Sun palette from ColourPop, I've only picked up 6 eyeshadow palettes this year. I think those are the only 6 that I've actually gotten. So I'm kind of sticking to limiting how many palettes that I add to my collection, because honestly, I'm more interested in buying books than buying makeup these days. Because again, I have so much makeup that it's like I don't need to add any more, but the only palette that I'm going to add is one of the Cliona palettes, because I have not tried their brand and I've been waiting for these palettes to come out for so long that I think if I just wait for palettes that I really do want and add to my collection, I think that's what I'm going to do from now on, unless, again, there's like a ColourPop collab that I just can't say no to, like Pokemon and Beauty and the Beast. But other than that, I mean, I have purchased quite a few things from ColourPop now, but at the same time, like, I am really trying to limit my makeup spending this year. Like, I only allow myself, like, basically one makeup purchase a month now, but I don't think I've bought really any makeup this month so far. So I've kind of been just on a no-buy for this entire month, so that's really good. I don't think I've ever, like, been on a no-buy for an entire month. I don't even remember the last time I've done that. I might have done that maybe a year or two ago, but I bought so much makeup last year that I'm really just trying to limit my makeup spending this year. And like I said, there's some really good palettes coming out right now. I was tempted by the Unearthly palette, the Simply Posh palette, the Lethal Cosmetics Avatar collection, and the Cliona, but the only one I'm going to get is one of the Cliona palettes, because I've been waiting for those to come out. So, and I've never tried Cliona before. I've tried all the other brands. I really did want to add one of the Avatar palettes from the Lethal collection, and I also wanted to get the highlighter, because the Fire palette is just so pretty. But I think I'm gonna wait until like maybe after I get the Cliona palette, see if I still want it. But I think I'm still gonna stay on a no buy this month, and then see if I want to get anything next month. But at the same time, that's when the Cliona palette comes out, is like the first week of July. So I'd rather like have experiences with my friends this summer. And like I said, I'm going book shopping tomorrow in the city. So yeah, and I bought a couple of books at Barnes & Noble a couple of days ago that I showed you guys. So yeah, rant over. So I went into Makeup by Mario's brown liner on the waterline, if I could speak. And then I went into the Essence Lash Primer, and then I used the Tarte Tartelette Tubing Mascara. And then I used the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. And then I don't know why I pointed to my lips when I'm still talking about my eyes, but here we are. And then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. I'm just so tired because I really thought I was going to sleep last night, but I just go to sleep way too late. And I took the Unisom really late too, because I didn't get home until like 12:15. So, and then for my foundation and concealer, I just wanted to use some light products. So I just went into the Makeup Forever HD Skin Foundation and the coinciding concealer. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder. And then I set my face with the Urban Decay powder. And then for my bronzer, I just went into my House Labs bronzer again in the shade Light Level 1. And then for my blush and highlight, I actually went into a blush I haven't used in a while. I used one of my Buxom blushes. This is the Primer Infused Blush, Wanderlust Primer Infused Blush in the shade Mykonos. This is such a beautiful peachy shade for the summertime, so I wanted to use that. I just dug it out of my drawer and I was like, oh, I'm going to use this. And then for my highlight, I went into my other Kaleidos highlighter because I love this highlight formula. So this is the shade Diamond Dasher, and it's just such a good highlighter. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray, which that is the only thing I'm going to repurchase this month because I'm actually like almost completely out of it. So I'm just going to get that at Sephora like probably Sunday. Just like step out of work and just buy that really quick, but that's literally like the only thing I'm going to get. And then for my lips, I'm just but that's the only like things I'm going to purchase these days is like things that I actually use up all the time, and I'm just going to repurchase it because like literally it's my favorite setting spray and I have like so little left. So and then for my lips, I just went into ColourPop's Minute Man lip liner, and then for my lip my liquid lipstick, oh my god, words, Caitlin, I went into my Half Magic Beauty liquid lipstick, the Mouth Cloud in the shade Mr. Cheeky Pants, because it's such a good, beautiful, peachy, light formula. Well, peachy shade, and it has a really light formula. So that's everything as far as my makeup goes. And as far as a reading update goes, I'm still reading Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. I'm actually on page 255, so I have less than 100 pages left. It's 354 pages, so I'm definitely going to finish this tonight. It's getting really, really good right now. But oh my god, Noelle is freaking me out. She's pretty weird. It's kind of giving me a little bit of the creeps now because of just the way that Noelle talks to one of the other main characters that you'll see, like, why this girl disappeared. It's just so creepy the way that she talks to this character. So you'll find out if you read this book. But also, I should be able to finish this before the city tomorrow, so at least I'll get one more book read. And then, so yeah, I should finish this tonight. Also, I don't technically have 100 pages left because there's a lot of chapters where there's like a blank page. And then there's also like some parts where there's like a blank page. Like the book is divided into like 5 different parts, but they're like short parts. They're only like maybe 50 to 60 pages each. So I think I'm on part 5. Possibly, but yeah, there's like a lot of chapters with like blank pages, so I have like less than 100 pages left, maybe like 90 or less than that, so I should definitely be able to finish that tonight. And then this weekend I'm just going to finish Ashes of the Star-Cursed King. I always get the name wrong of this. But I'm going to continue. I'm still listening to the audiobook of that. I'm actually on page 190. And I'm going to listen to a bit more while I'm getting ready. Yeah, the Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. I'm just going to finish that this weekend because I'm just going to read the rest of it on my Kindle because I'm not really going to have too much time to read a physical book tomorrow because I'm going to the city, and then on Sunday morning I'm working. So I'm just going to bring my Kindle with me on the train tomorrow, and I'm just going to read that. Like, just in case if me and my friend don't want to talk for a little while, I'll just read. But I'll probably just most likely listen to the audiobook in the morning, and then I will just see how much I actually get to read on the train back and forth. But I'm still going to bring my Kindle with me. I'm not bringing a physical book, obviously. And then we'll see how many books I pick up at that bookstore. But I'm not going to try and pick up more than 4 or 5. But honestly, like, my drawers are kind of bursting already with unread books that honestly, like, after I read them, I'm not sure where I'm going to store them. So, like, it just, the shelves are getting, like, a little bit too full right now. Like, it's working right now, but at the same time, like, I'm storing a lot of my unread books in the unread books drawer. And then I have my TBR shelf. And then I also have, like, the top shelf of, like, unread books that I want to add to my TBR every month. So, but I think this is my 13th book this month. So, I'm still keeping up my, My goal for the month, I should hit 15 books by Monday. I should be on my 15th book, and then I'm going to go into the Spanish Love Deception right after I finish the Star-Cursed King, because like I said, I was going to read that book next. And I'm just going to have a full week of summer romances next week. So I'm going to start with the Spanish Love Deception. And then I'm going to read the Carly Fortune books. They're not technically a trilogy. I think they're interconnected standalones. But I'm going to read all 3 of those summer romances before the month is over. And then I'm also going to read It Happened One Summer, like right after that. So I should be on It Happened One Summer by like July 1st. And I should get like halfway through it. But then Tuesday, July 2nd, I mean, Reckless comes out by Lauren Roberts, which is the second book in the Powerless trilogy. So I'm definitely going to read that as soon as it comes out. But also June 28th, which is a week from now, which I should be able to finish hopefully 4 books by that point, like that book, The Spanish Love Deception, and the first 2 books in the summer series by Carly Fortune. Because June 28th, Ashley Poston's new book comes out. So I'm going to read that as soon as that comes out, which is a novel love story. And then I'll probably finish the Carly Fortune books, I don't know, whenever. And then depending on when I finish that book, I might just go right into Reckless then, and then read the 2 Tessa Bailey books back to back, It Happened One Summer and Hook, Line, and Sinker. So then that will be the end of my summer romance weeks. Because it's summer, I want to read summer romances right now. And then we will pick out other books after that for my July TBR. But that's like my reading plan for the next like week or two. During the last week of June and the first week of July. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye. So hey there guys, I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I'm about to leave for my boyfriend's house very soon. I'm just waiting for my mom to get home, which should be very soon as well, but I am getting hungry. So this is actually the same day that I filmed that other clip. So I didn't read too much more because I only just listened to more of the Ashes of the Star-Cursed King while I was getting ready. I didn't read any more of a physical book because I was getting ready. So I primed my eye. Actually, I just used my concealer today because since it's so hot out, I didn't really feel like wearing too much face makeup. So I just went into my favorite concealer right now, which is the Coffee Concealer in the shade Bad Batum. And I just did that on my eyes as primer, and then I just set it with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder, and I set my under eyes with the House Labs powder, and then I just set my face again with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. And then for my eyeshadow palette today, I just went back into the ColourPop Pokemon palette again because I wanted to use the pink shades, and I just didn't want to use too much eyeshadow. Oh my god, I forgot to do my inner corners. Oopsies. Hold the phone. I'm just going to use this single shadow. I really hate when I don't do my inner corners. It like drives me crazy. So I forgot I was going to go into a single shadow. So just give me a moment. I don't know how I did that. It's stupid sometimes. I mean, we all forget things, right? But at the same time, it's like, I do this every day, so I don't know how I forget sometimes. Okay. That looks pretty. Okay. I hate, like, not doing my inner corners. I really hate that people, like, get on people for what they like to do with their makeup, like saying inner corner is out and so is highlighter. And I'm like, I will wear highlighter and inner corner highlight every day of my life. Like, I really don't care what people say. Like, it's what I like to wear. It's not out of style for me. So you shouldn't have to feel self-conscious just because it's not a trend. I don't really care about makeup trends. I just wear what I want. So for my eyeshadow, I went into Pokemon Center in the crease, And then I just used Fuchsia City to darken it up. And then I just used Jelly Donut on the lid. I was originally going to use that on the inner corners and then just go into Gym Leader all over the lid. But I remember when I used that shade, this one, the glitter got like absolutely everywhere. I was cleaning it off of my face, even after I washed my face and everything. And there was still like glitter particles everywhere. So I just didn't want to deal with that today. So that's why I just went in with the regular shimmer. And I didn't do my brow bone either. What is wrong with me today? My head is kind of elsewhere right now, actually, so I shouldn't say like, oh, what's wrong with me, like, but I'm just gonna go into Brighter Days from Blend Bunny really quick and just put that right under my brow. Because Watson's not feeling well today, my doggo Flago. He kind of had an upset stomach yesterday, like he had a stomach ache and like really bad number 2 yesterday. He had to make a lot. So he's not really eating today, but people have like a misconception that if your dog isn't eating, that's a cause for concern. Dogs can actually go without food for 2 days, or at least like a couple days. They can't go without water though. Just like, you know, humans, it's like the same thing. Like we can't survive without water, but we could survive without food. So, but he hasn't been drinking much water today either. I've tried to get him to drink water like maybe every 2 hours. Like I tried at 12 and then I tried again at 2 and he just didn't want to drink anything. So I don't know if he drank water this morning because he didn't want to eat his food this morning. So we're just monitoring him. I'm just waiting for my mom to get home. I told my boyfriend I'm not going to leave until she gets home just so I can talk to her. So it's obviously more important, but yeah, I shouldn't get on myself for forgetting makeup steps when I'm just concerned about my buddy. So I just went into Brighter Days from Blend Bunny on the brow bone. And then for my inner corners, I just used one of these single shadows from ColourPop. I usually just pop one of these on my inner corners if there's not like a light enough shade in the palette that I'm using. I just use one of these, and this one's the shade Liar Liar. I don't know if I'm hitting pan on this anytime soon, but there's just like a bunch of single shadows in this little ColourPop palette that I keep next to me all the time, just in case if I need like a deeper inner corner shade or anything like that. I also have 2 full palettes of Makeup Geek and actually I think that's the only one that's next to me. It's like this full neutral palette with like full of single shadows that I don't even use anymore, but I keep them here just in case if I need like an inner corner highlight or anything like that. So anyway, that's everything for the eyes, and then I just use the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade Aglow on the waterline because I did wear my strawberry shirt today, so I like putting a little bit of green with that. And then for my mascara, I just used my ColourPop Level Up mascara on the top and bottom lashes. And then for my face, like I said, I just went into the Colfi concealer. And then I just used my bronzer, which is the Milani Dolce bronzer in the shade Dolce, right? Yes. Duh. So this is one of my favorite summer bronzers. So I just went into that. And then for my blush, I went into the ColourPop Pokemon blush in the shade Metronome again, because I wanted to use this blush with the palette. And then for my highlight, I just went into the ColourPop Sailor Moon one. This one is the Moonlight Pressed Powder Highlighter. It's not very pigmented, but I didn't really want something too shiny today anyway, but it's still pretty. And then I set my face with the Rare Beauty setting spray. And then I set my brows with the ColourPop Brow Blush Gel. And then for my lips, I just went into the Tower 28 Lip Crayon. This is the Tinted Lip Balm in the shade Shake. It's just such a beautiful, like, glossy lip formula. I love these things. I might possibly get all 4 shades just because I use them all the time. But I have 2 shades. I have the pink and the, like, the nudish peach shade as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it as far as my makeup goes. And then, like I said, as far as a reading update goes, I just was listening to more of Ashes of the Star and the Star Cursed King while I was getting ready. So now I'm on 213 rather than 190. So I just listened until like 2.5 chapters. So, but still something. So yeah, that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys. I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. I'm pretty tired. Oh my god, I'm exhausted. I walked so much in the city yesterday and I worked today. But it was really fun. I'll tell you guys about my Strand experience and book shopping in the city. It was really, really fun, but I stuck to my limit and I only got 4 books. So I was gonna get 5 or limit myself to 5 tops, but I got 4. So I was gonna leave with at least a book, but I'll tell you guys whether or not Strand was worth it. So I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I used the Pokemon Pokeball, and then I set my eyes with the Urban Decay pressed powder. And before I go into my eyeshadow, I just wanted to say how many compliments I actually got on my eyeshadow today. It's just so funny. Like, I really just do think that warm tones and like orangey tones just look the best on me, because clearly I get a lot of compliments when I wear them. So, but I just think it's funny. Like, I got like way more compliments today than I have in like a couple of weeks. But I used my Give Me Glow Extra Spicy palette because I love whipping this out when the summer rolls around. It's one of my favorite summer palettes. And I'm like, you know what? Let me finally wear this with the orange dress that I wore. I love this dress. I try to wear it at least once a summer. And this is still one of my favorite summer palettes. It's just so vibrant and beautiful. So I just went into Spicy Peach Martini in the crease. Then I darkened up the crease more with Flaming Hot. And then I used On Fire on the lid. And then for the inner corners, I used Ghost Pepper. And then for the brow bone, I used Brighter Days from Blend Bunny. And that's it. That's all I used. And I got so many compliments because, again, these eyeshadows are just so pigmented. And then for my liner, I was trying to use the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in Peach Fuzz, but I think it's basically out, or it's like completely dried out at this point because it wasn't really working. So I just went in with a brown liner, the Makeup by Mario one in brown. And then for my mascara, I just went into the Essence Lash Primer and then the Amico Lay mascara because I was wearing orange, so I wanted to use the orange tube. And then I used the Maybelline Lash Discovery, of course, on the bottom lashes. And then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. And then for my foundation and concealer, I just went into my House Labs combo. The House Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation in the shade 050 Fair Cool and the coinciding concealer in 01 Fair Neutral. And then I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder, and then I set my face with the Urban Decay pressed powder. And then for my bronzer, I went into the Gucci bronzer in the shade 01. And then for my blush, I went into Butterfly from Benefit. This one was so pretty with the dress, and it's just one of my favorite summer blushes. I mean, it's such a vibrant orange. And then for my highlight, I went into the Artist Couture highlighter in the shade Illuminati. Just wanted to use it today. I wanted to use a loose highlighter. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray, and then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went into the ColourPop Minuteman lip liner. And then I was wearing a different lippy this morning, but it was still from Give Me Glow. This is actually the lippy that I was wearing yesterday in the city, but for some reason I couldn't find the other one when I was at work. It's probably in my purse somewhere, but it's just called Apricot, the liquid lipstick. I just didn't feel like putting it on again. So that's everything as far as my makeup goes. And then as far as a reading update goes, I don't know if I told you guys that I finished Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell on, was it Friday night? I think it was Friday night. Yeah, it was Friday night. I finished it after I said my makeup look, but oh my god, it was a good book, but it was one of the saddest books I've ever read. It was just so tragic, like the way that the girl was murdered in it. It was just so sad, and what happened to one of the other characters was unaliving themselves. So it was some pretty deep, sad subject matter. So I was like, I need something. I mean, I gave it a 3.75 out of 5 stars. I had a feeling it was going to be like 3.75 because, again, I just feel like I wanted like a good thriller because that middle of the night book sucked so badly. But like, so I was like, let me actually read a good author's thriller. But I wouldn't even say this was a thriller. I just felt like it was a tragic suspense tale, but also like it was very intriguing and it got me to read it, but I was just so devastatingly sad after I read it. So I was like, I need to pick something that's the complete opposite. I don't want to cry in a book right now. I'm like, I need something funny. I need something romantic. I need something uplifting. I was just in such a sad mood after that. So I just picked so this has been on my TBR for like 2 months already. And I was like, you know what? I think this is finally the right time to read Betting on You by Lynn Painter. This wasn't on my TBR for this month, but I've been wanting to read this for so long. And just this cover, like, makes me so happy. I really do feel like when you look at book covers, you get like such a jolt of endorphins depending on like the color of the book. So yeah, I started this finally. I was going to read the Carly Fortune summer series with Every Summer After, but I actually heard that some of those books are sad as well. So I was like, I really cannot cry. I need something that's funny. I need an author that I know that I can rely on that I will just have a good time and I'll laugh. And I've just been smiling the entire time I've been reading this book. So I'm on page 165. So I think I read like 40 pages today, but I'm just going to try and binge this tonight because I'm enjoying this book so much. I actually think Bailey is my favorite female character that she's done so far because like I liked the female characters in Better Than the Movies and The Do-Over, but I've just been wanting to read this book for so long, and just this cover makes me so happy to look at. And it's adorable, and this is also like her first YA that's dual POV, which I also am really enjoying. Even though this one is longer, I really feel like it's just a breeze to get through. Even though this is a longer book than Middle of the Night, this is so easy to read, and I've just been eating it up. It's just so cute. So I am so glad I picked that because it's putting me in such a good mood now because I was like, oh my God, it's so sad. So then, I did find Lynn Painter's new release yesterday at the Strand. So I just got 3 used. Well, I actually think I only got 2 used books. I don't think the other one that I got is used, but I don't even know why I bought this one. But I mean, this was on my TBR. Like all these books are still on my TBR or like my want to read on Goodreads. But I've been looking for this book and I was surprised that the price was so good. So I picked up Lynn Painter's Happily Never After. So I'm definitely going to read this probably like the first or second week of July because this is a really short book. It's only like 200 something pages. It's only 275. I might just binge this tomorrow and read the whole book. We'll see. I just need some uplifting romances right now. I don't want anything that's going to make me cry. Like, even Abby Jimenez, I love her to pieces. But every single book that she has written has made me cry. And then the second book I got was Grady Hendrix's The Final Girl Support Group. I really did enjoy Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I don't know how, I don't know if this is like horror thriller, but I'm still excited for it. I've just been very curious about his other books, and I've been kind of wanting to read this one, but I think I'm not going to read this until like Halloween, like during October. I'm planning to do a whole thriller, like Halloween-y, witchy vibe romance month when October rolls around. But got this one, and both of them were $10. And then the last book that I got there was The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. I do want to get into some of her thrillers Because like I said, I just got into Frida McFadden this past month and Holly Jackson again, and I really love Holly Jackson. So I've just been wanting to read more thrillers lately, and this was only $10 as well, but it's a mini book. So those are the only 3 books that I got, but I was actually planning to walk out with probably like 5 or 6. If I would have found the rest of the Shatter Me series there for $10 each, then I would have bought them. But honestly, I don't think that the used books there are actually worth it, because the cheapest that you can get books is $10 for the used books. But there are so many used books that they are selling that are still full price. And I'm like, I think that is actually a total ripoff, because you shouldn't be selling used books for full price. Like, it's still a used book. Like, if it's in like perfect condition, you still should be knocking like a couple of dollars off the price, because it's still used. So I just thought, like, half the romance books that I wanted to get, they were all full price. I'm like, why am I going to pay this when I can just order it at Amazon or just go to Target and still pick up books for cheaper at Target? So I was like, that is not worth it. But the only book that was worth it was Happily Never After, because I felt like I would find at least maybe one more book that was $10. So I'm glad I found the Final Girl support group. But all the other authors and books that I wanted to get, they were all full price. I'm like, this is ridiculous to pay $19 for a paperback still for a used book. It's like, if I wanted to pay that, I'm better off just going to Barnes & Noble and paying full price. Because I even get a $5 reward if I really want to. So I did pick up one book at the Barnes & Noble in Union Square, because we did go to that one like a couple of hours later. And it is 4 floors. It was so cool. But I did get one book. I picked up The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. I've been wanting to get this book for a while. I saw this book recommended by, and these are all really short reads. They're only like 300 pages each, most of these books. So these would be a breeze to get through, but I'm not going to read this until like October, because I want to read this series. So I am probably going to read my 2 witchy rom-com books and My Roommate is a Vampire next month. I really want to read those. And some summer romances as well. I'm going to read a ton of summer romances next month. But for some reason, I thought this book was only $15.99. I don't know how the hell I misread the label that it says $18.99, but I actually got them to give me 20% off because I saw it was a bit worn on the bottom. And I need to do that every time that I find like an imperfection on Barnes and Noble's books, because I have a couple of others that like aren't in perfect condition, because I feel like if you're going to pay full price for a book, they need to be in perfect condition, to be honest. So I got this, but also I had another $5 reward, and I didn't realize that I did. And also there's a scratch mark on the back, so it's not really in perfect condition, but as long as the book, the inside is good. Like, I don't really care about imperfections on the front, but it's like, give me a little bit of a discount, So, but I didn't realize I had a $5 reward from when I went this past Wednesday, because I spent like almost $100 last time, because I bought the 3 Magnolia Parks books that I didn't have, and like 3 other books that were like $10 to $13. They really weren't that expensive for paperbacks there. But I ended up just using it on that one book, so I got it for $12. So that was a little bit more worth it. And I wanted to buy at least one book from Barnes & Noble in the city, so I just bought one. But I do have to get the second one of that book as well, but I'm not getting that until October. I'm on such a no-buy for books right now. I think I'm going to be on a no-buy for the entire month of July. But I am going to my local bookstore tomorrow, because I'm going to return that Middle of the Night book by Riley Sager. And if they do have the rest of the Shatter Me series, because I got the first 3 books there like 2 weeks ago used, and they were all $5 each. So I'll be on the lookout to see if they have the rest of the series, because they get used books in like all the time. And if they're $5 each, I'm going to buy the rest of the series. But besides that, that is it. I'm not buying any more books until my birthday. Maybe I'll treat myself to like 2 books or something, but I am not buying any more books right now. I have so many to read and get through, but I'm so mad that I didn't know that I had another $5 reward for Barnes & Noble, because then I would have picked up another book that was downstairs on one of the tables. I probably would have just picked up the Abby Jimenez book that I want to own, because for some reason, like, I'm finding it everywhere else besides Target, even though I've already read it for free on Kindle. I want to own all of her books because she's still my favorite romance author. She's like the only author that I feel that way about owning all of her books, because she's my favorite romance author. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go. I'm so tired. So bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for yesterday. I almost forgot to do it, but I got home way too late last night to film it because, like I said, I went to the city. In the future clips that you're gonna see. So I primed my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer, and then I used the Pokemon Pokeball, and then I set my eyes with the Everyday Makeup powder. And then for my eyeshadow palette today, for yesterday, I used the Bella Beauté Bar the Sun and the Sea palette. And this lasted all day. Like, I didn't have any problems with creasing with this because their mattes are just incredible and they last such a long time. So I knew I wasn't going to have problems or issues with this, because I've been having a lot of issues with creasing lately. So, oh my god, I'm so tired. I hope I sleep tonight. I really have been sleeping like shit lately. So I went into Overexposed in the crease. Then I went in with Beach Babe to darken up the crease, and then I went into Bask on the outer corners. And then for the lid, I think I used Heat Wave. Pretty sure it was Heat Wave or Sunset. Why can't I remember which one it was? It was one of the two. And then I went into tan lines on the brow bone. And then for the inner corners, pretty sure I used Daydream. Why can't I remember the shades that I used? It was one of these 3. They're all like beautiful duochromes. Or maybe it was Sunkissed. Let me just look at the clip again. Where's my phonograph? My boyfriend always calls it a phonograph, so that's what I'm gonna call it too. Okay, where is it? Very low energy right now. Yeah, I used Heat Wave on the lid because it's been so hot lately. We've basically been going through a heat wave. And then I think I used Daydream on the inner corners. So that's everything as I used from the palette, and I just love this palette. It's so nice. And then I went into the Makeup by Mario liner in the shade Brown. And then I went into the Tarte Tartelette Tubing Mascara, and then the Maybelline Lash Discovery on the bottom lashes. And then I primed my face with the Do It Spray and the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. And then for my foundation and concealer, I went into the Lancome Teint Idol Ultra Wear Foundation in the shade 120N. And then for the concealer, I went into the Tarte Stick Concealer in the shade Porcelain 8S. I'm going to have a more chill week. And the only plans I have are, I'm probably going to be the most tired, is this weekend, because I'm going to the beach on Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, I'm pretty sure I'm working. But they cut one of my shifts this week, so I'm not working again until Saturday. So I have like the next 5 days off, so I'll be able to get more stuff done unless they call me in for a day, which I wouldn't mind working another day. So, of course, I set my under eyes with the Pat McGrath Labs powder, and then I set my face with the Urban Decay Pressed Powder. And then for my bronzer, I went into the Gucci bronzer in the shade 01. This guy right here. And then for my blush, I went into the Give Me Glow blush in the shade Havana Cabana. Because I knew... Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I knew that this would last all day, so these blushes are amazing. And then for my highlight, I went into the shade Translucent from Give Me Glow, because again, I know that even in the hot heat, these are going to last. And the same thing with this concealer and foundation. I love this foundation, and it lasted all day. And then I set my face with the Milk Makeup Setting Spray. And then I set my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And then for my lips, I went into the Give Me Glow Lippy. I went into the Minute Man Lip Liner from ColourPop. And then the Give Me Glow Cosmetics Lippy in the shade Juicy. And that's it. I don't need to give a reading update because I already do the next day. But like I said, I'm still... I finished Then She Was Gone, and then I started Betting on You on this night that I'm telling you this look. And now I'm just gonna read. So that's it. Bye. Hey, so hey there, guys. I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. So I just went and did stuff that I needed to get done today. I went and returned that horrible Riley Sager book. And I also returned another book that I just thought was too pricey for me to buy there. So I'm just going to order it at some point. But I have so many romance authors that I want to get into at this point that I ordered the ones that I wanted to get. I actually ordered 3 books on Amazon, but I am going, and they already came already. I'll grab those 2 and show you guys what I got. But these are all part of, like, my summer romance reads, so that's why I wanted to order these, and also these are just so aesthetically pleasing. And then I'll show you guys the 3 books that I got at the bookstore, because I go there to look at their used books now, and they're such good prices that I ended up buying 3 used books. But I still got $20 back for returning middle of the night, and the Sarah Adams book, Practice Makes Perfect. I still want to read that, but it's not going to be until, like, I don't even know, maybe like September or something. I have so many unread books to read now that I am so good until August, and I'm probably not going to buy any books until then. Because, well, I can't. I really can't. I don't even have the space right now, to be honest. But the only books I'm going to buy in August are going to be the rest of the Shatter Me series. And it's just going to be the other 3 books. And then there's, like, second books in some other series that I might possibly get. But let me just tell you guys about my makeup first. So I primed my eyes with the ColourPop Party Proof Primer, and then I used the Pokemon Pokeball, and then I set my eyes with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Powder. So yeah, I went to the bookstore, and then I went to eat, and then I just got my car inspected. That was the main thing that I needed to do today. But I also picked up boba tea from this place in our town. It's called Yaz Tea, and oh my god, like, everybody says that this is some of the best boba, and it's really, really good. I got the peach green tea with mango popping boba and 2 pumps of peach syrup. It was so good. It was just so refreshing today. I was gonna go get pizza at my favorite pizza place there, but they're only cash. I could have sworn they took cards at this point, but unfortunately they don't. Sorry. I went to eat at Chipotle and I still have crap in my teeth. So anyway, I went in with such an old palette today, but I went into the Lizzie McGuire What Dreams Are Made Of palette by ColourPop, and I just really wanted to use this today. I was just feeling it. And I wanted to do, like, kind of an easy summery look. So I just went in with So Mature in the crease, and then I just used Audi all over the lid, and then I just went into Bye-Bye on the inner corners, and that's everything I used. And I still think this palette is such good quality, and it's just such a cute little palette. I think this is one of their most well done collab palettes. Like, I could literally see all of these colors in the show, and I just think they did a really good job with that. And then for my waterline, sorry. Oh no. Hold on a second. I just was checking with my mom to make sure the power wasn't going out. Because sometimes they do that. Like, they've been doing that a lot, actually. It just happened to my boyfriend last week with his mom. The power went out for like 2 hours at his house while we were there. But I think that, like, the power companies are trying to maintain the power lines this summer because I think they expect a lot of thunderstorms, but also since it's been so ridiculously hot right now, I know it's summertime, but we've had like record-breaking temperatures this first week of summer already, that I think that people are just overworking their appliances and their AC and all of that. So they're like really trying to maintain, like, so people don't burn out and break their shit, you know? Like, I mean, it's just like, causing outages because of the overworked ACs and all of that. I think that's what's going on, but I could be totally wrong, but I think that is part of the problem. So, yeah. So then I went in with ColourPop's Cream Gel Liner in the shade Peach Fuzz. I mean, for me, it doesn't affect me. I just whip out my Kindle or a book and I'm good to go. I'm like, oh, well, we can't watch shows now, so, oh no, I have to read all night, which is what I want to do anyway. So, and then I went into just my ColourPop Lengthening Mascara on the top and bottom lashes. And then I went in with my Do It Spray and the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer. And then for my face, I just went into my Beauty Blender Bounce. It just looks amazing on my skin. The skin tint in the shade Light 1, and then I went into the Kulfi Concealer in the shade Bad Batum. And then I set my under eyes with the House Labs powder. And then I set my face with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. I'm still sleeping like crap. I didn't really sleep last night either. I don't know what it is about this week. I've been doing so much and I haven't really been staying in my bed, and for some reason I can't fall asleep, so. But I still go to bed late as fuck, so it's not like that helps either, but whatever. And then for my blush, I went into the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush in the shade Pretty Peach. And then for my highlight, I went into Wet n Wild's Hello Halo highlighter in the shade After Sex Glow. I really fucking hate the name of this, but I went into this like lighter shade. I just don't know why you're like having, teenagers buy Wet n Wild and it's literally called After Sex Glow. It's just, what? I just think it's ridiculous. Like, I don't know, it's just a really stupid name. And then I set my face with the Do It Spray, and then I set my brows with the ColourPop Brow Boss Gel. And then for my lips, I went into the MAC lipstick in the shade Kinda Sexy, the matte finish. This is a classic lipstick. Of course, it has a dumb name as well, but I like the name of that more than the other one. So, I finished Betting on You by Lynn Painter this afternoon. I really wanted to finish it last night, but I got really tired. But I think I read like at least 160, 170 pages yesterday, so I just finished it up this afternoon because I didn't really want to leave the house until I finished it, and I was like, oh, I'll just, listen to it in the car for the rest of the time that I have left on it, because I actually found that it's free on Spotify Premium, so that was great too. So I was just listening to it while I was getting ready today, and I only had like an hour and a half left. And I loved it. It was so adorable. I gave it a 5 stars because I think that this is my favorite Lynn Painter book that I've read so far. Like, The Do-Over and Better Than the Movies were still great, but I'm just so happy that I finally decided to read this book because I don't know why I was putting it off for so long because it's been sitting on my shelf for like 3 months, almost 3 months at this point. I think I got it in like March or something. So I'm like, I need to finally read this. And I'm so happy that I did. I didn't think this was going to be my favorite one, but like basically like halfway through, I was like, I think that this is going to be a 5-star. I really didn't find any issues or anything that I did not like about this story and the writing style. I just thought it was hysterical. It was so cute. It was so adorable. I was just smiling and laughing and feeling the warm fuzzies the whole time. And it was just the perfect book to read right now because, like I said, I just needed a reliable author that I know that I like their writing. I know that I like their books. I was like, I don't want to read anybody new right now. I was like, I need somebody reliable that I can just have a great time and just laugh because I'm like, I am so over crying right now. I was like, I cannot cry in another book. I'm like, and after reading Middle of the Night, like that crap book, and then reading Then She Was Gone, which was a really good book, but devastatingly sad. This was like the complete opposite, and I'm so happy that I decided to read it because it was adorable. I loved it. So I think Bailey is my favorite female character that she wrote, and also this was her first YA that was dual POV, even though I wish she had a little bit more of Charlie's perspective because his chapters were really short. It kind of made perfect sense, and it was like, there was just such great character development between the two of them, but it wasn't just about their romance. It was also about like her best friend dating her boyfriend, and also like Bailey and Charlie are trying to get over their exes, and they're both kind of still hung up on them, but also they're still talking to them and they're still kind of friends with them. But also like Bailey's parents are divorced and her mom starts to see somebody new, and it's also about her mom's romance with her new boyfriend. And it's just, I loved the way that she overlapped the stories, and I just thought it was so funny. I just had such a great time. And even though this was her longest YA book so far, because it was like 420 pages, I was like, why is it so long? And then when I was getting to the last 100 pages, I was like, I don't want this book to end. I feel like I could read about them for forever and just never get tired of it. I was actually genuinely sad when I finished it. Like, I was so excited to see how it ended, but also I was like so sad that it was over because I was like, this book was so adorable. I loved it. It was so cute. So I'm so glad I decided to finally read that book because I was losing a little bit of hope trying to find a banger again before June was over. And that was definitely it. And I'm just so happy that I read it. So the 3 other summer romance reads that I'm going to read. This one I'm probably going to read most likely next month. And the first one is Nora Goes Off Script by Annabelle Monaghan. These are all by Annabelle Monaghan. But I got all 3 of her summer romance books because they're so short. I could binge these so quickly. This book is only like 250 pages. But look at how it came. Why is it so bent? I'm hoping it'll be bent back into place, just keeping it on my shelf like in between 2 books. But I'm like pretty pissed off about that, but whatever. And then I also got, like I said, Same Time Next Summer, also by Annabelle Monaghan. And I think this one is only like 285 pages, so I'm really excited for this. And then, of course, I got her new release, which is Summer Romance. So I have to read these in the summer. Like, hello. So, and this one was actually, Summer Romance was on promo on Amazon for $14. And I was like, that's already super cheap. So, for a new release. So, I got those. And then these are the 3 used books that I got from the other bookshop that I went to return the Riley Sager book. I also wanted to see if they had Ashley Poston's new release early, but they didn't. They probably will end up having it tomorrow, but I actually haven't seen any of any other Ashley Poston books there, but I also haven't seen any other Riley Sager books there either. Like, they don't have the 7-Year Slip or Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, but, you know, I didn't really expect them to have it, so it's fine. But I was looking for the rest of the Shatter Me series to see if they hopefully would have gotten in more, but it looks like they haven't. I think I bought the last 3 that they had. Of course, they still had the first book, Shatter Me, and they only had 1 copy of Ignite Me, but they didn't have any of the other ones. So I just picked up this, and I'm very happy that I found this for $5. So I picked up Caraval by Stephanie Garber. $5, man. $5, and it's still in such good condition. It's like in really good quality, so I got that. I'm super excited to read that. I've been wanting to read this trilogy for a while. And then this book I saw last time I was there, but I didn't realize that this was 40% off. So, and I feel like I keep on eyeing this book. I don't even know if it's on my want to read on Goodreads, but I think that this is going to be such a fun time in October. Like I said, I'm going to do a whole thriller, witchy vibes kind of thing. But I feel like this book is just following me everywhere. I see it like everywhere when I'm book shopping. So I'm like, you know what? I feel like it's a sign. And I forgot it was on this table last time I was at this bookstore, and I saw it there. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to get it. So this is The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic by Brienne Randall. And this one was $9. So I was like, great deal. Super excited for this one. I bet it's super cute. So I'm excited I got that one. And then this one was a hardcover that was 40% off. So it was $14. And also I really want to get into these authors' books. So I picked up Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. And this book is really, really short too. I think it's only like 300 something pages. Yeah, only like 310 pages. So I've heard a lot of good things about her books. And this one isn't on Kindle Unlimited, but The Bodyguard is. But I thought that this book was too. They might have recently removed it because sometimes Kindle, like, you know, they're not on Kindle Unlimited forever. But there's some authors that have all their books on Kindle Unlimited, like Frida McFadden. And, but yeah, I'm super excited to read this. I'm so excited that I got this. They didn't have this the last time I was there. But they also didn't have the other 2 books in the Caraval series. But if I can find the first one for $5, that's what I'm going to do. But I also am going to have to pick up the other 2 books in this series. And the rest of Shatter Me. And that's it. I'm not buying any more books after that. So yeah. 6 more books. Because I'm a psycho. But so those are the books that I got. And then I'm going to stick to my TBR still. Because I should have time to read at least 1 to possibly 2 more books. I'm definitely going to read 1 book before Ashley Poston's book comes out. But I would most likely end the month with Ashley Poston's book. This is probably going to be the last physical book that I read this month. But I'm just going to go right into The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I didn't even know this was on Kindle Unlimited for such a long time. But I've owned the book for a while, and I finally want to read this. So I've heard mixed things about it, but Larry Reads loves these, and I'm just going to start my summer romance reads now for the next like 2 weeks. So I'm going to read this, and then I'm just going to go into It Happened One Summer. I don't know when, probably the 30th. I'll probably finish a novel love story on the 30th and then start that night and then read that on July 1st as well. But then July 2nd, Reckless comes out by Lauren Roberts. So I have 2 new releases to read in the next week, which is super exciting. But then I don't have any new releases to look forward to until I think the end of July. But there's not really anything coming out in August, but August is kind of a dead month for new releases. Like, but yeah, anyway, super excited for both of those. I think I'm going to love both of those books because I love Ashley Pawson and I loved Powerless by Lauren Roberts. So, and everyone's super excited for Reckless. I can't wait. I'm super excited to read it. But yeah, those are going to be taking over my life. But I'm definitely reading The Spanish Love Deception, and it happened one summer in between both of those books, and we'll see how far we get. But as soon as those books come out, I am purchasing them on Kindle and reading them. So yeah, that's it. Bye. And those will be my 2 Kindle reads already for the rest of the week. So bye. Oh, and also I'm still reading Ashes of the Star-Cursed King. I'm on page 422 now. I'm not really loving this one. It's good, but it's kind of like not much is happening. Like, I feel like there was more action in the first book. I'm still really enjoying it. It's still really good. It's still funny. It's still entertaining. I'm having a great time. I'm definitely going to read the 3rd one when it comes out, but that doesn't come out until November. But I'm just happy I finally read these books as well. But I'm not like, oh my god, totally obsessed, but it is very enjoyable. So that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys, I want to tell you guys about my makeup look for today. It's pretty late right now. It's like 12:40, so I have some book updates for you guys too. So I primed my eyes with ColourPop Party Proof Primer, and then I just used the Pokemon Pokeball, and then I set my eyes with ColourPop Pretty Fresh Powder, and then for my face, I just went into concealer today because I kind of just didn't want to spend too long on my makeup, so I just did my usual everyday look. Like, honestly, like, I haven't been wearing that much face makeup lately. I've just been going in with concealer because, again, once the summertime rolled around, or just when I don't want to spend too much time on my makeup, and I'll just throw on a couple of eyeshadows and throw on concealer. So I wanted to use my Tower 28 one today in the shade BH. I still love this one. And then I set my under eyes with the House Labs powder, and then I set my face with the ColourPop Pretty Fresh powder. I actually did my eyeshadow first, but I just wanted to say I went in with concealer. And then for my eyeshadow palette today, I just used the Cosmic Brushes Muse palette. And I just took 3 shades out of here. I just really wanted to use this palette again because I love it. It's just such a beautiful one. I just wanted to use the pinks. So I just went into Petal in the crease. And then I just used Muse all over the lid. I've used this shade multiple times. I love it. And then for the inner corners, I just used Luster. And that was it. That's all I wanted to do for my eyeshadow. I just didn't want to spend too long on it. And then I went into Brighter Days from Blend Money on the brow bone. I have been wearing makeup for the past like 3 weeks. It depends on what I do on Thursday. I think I might have a date of myself Thursday as well. I don't even know at this point. And then I went into the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in the shade, what is it called again? I was about to say green. I think it's called, I don't know why I never remember the shade name of this. Aglow. And then I just went into ColourPop's lengthening mascara on the top and bottom lashes. And then for my bronzer, I just went into my ColourPop Alviva Beach bronzer. And then for my blush, I just went into Love Cloud by MAC. I really do need to wash my brushes though, because this didn't really show up as pink as I would have wanted it to. It kind of came out a little bit more orangey, so no. And then for my highlight, I just went into Wet n Wild's Blossom Glow. This is such a good highlighter from the drugstore. Like, this is still a great formula. And then I set my face with the Do It spray. And then I set my brows with the ColourPop Brow Wash Gel. And then for my lips, I just went into a MAC lipstick. I just used the MAC, this is one of the Luster finishes in the shade Syrup. I've used this so much. I love this lipstick. It's just such a great one. So that's it. That's all I used for my makeup. And then as far as a reading update goes, I did start The Spanish Love Deception yesterday, and I'm on page 139. I actually did listen to quite a bit of the audiobook on Spotify Premium, but I actually have used up my listening hours. I don't know if they renew like every month, but I actually have been using Spotify Premium a ton this month. I used it to listen to the Friend Zone series by Abby Jimenez. I used it to listen to a bit of Betting on You by Lynn Painter and Never Lie by Frida McFadden, just because I would listen to these while I was getting ready and doing my makeup. So I also listened to this today and a little bit of it yesterday. I read like 60 pages last night, and then I mostly listened to it today, but I knew I wanted to start this before this other book came out last night. I'm enjoying this so far. I think it's funny. It's not my favorite romance book. I don't think it's going to be, but it's enjoyable. I think it's funny. I think that this is kind of very, like, there's so many haters of this book, but I don't know. I'm enjoying it so far. There are a little bit of things that are a little bit degrading for the main character, but at the same time, it's kind of realistic on what happens with women in an office with a bunch of men. Some men can be like complete dicks or like absolutely sexist. My friend tells me about it all the time in her office. Like, some of her coworkers are just nuts. So it's kind of like really realistically done. And I think it's cute so far. Like, she has to find a wedding date for her sister's wedding, and he is her coworker, and they just have never really liked each other. And now all of a sudden, Aaron is being like nice to each other, and he even offered to be her date for the wedding because she actually made up to her family that she is seeing someone again, and she said that his name is Aaron. So she basically said that it was him, and now they are like telling each other and working with each other to help each other out, to be like each other's dates for her wedding. And also he asks her to be his date to like this auction. So like that's really like the only thing that he asked for in return, because she's like, there has to be a catch if you're like asking me for if you're offering to be my wedding date, because like he had already offered to be like before this, like, and it's just cute so far. I'm liking it. And also I am now starting my whole summer romance weeks for the next week or two, and that's all I'm going to be reading for the next like 2 weeks. I have like 5 other summer romances that I would like to read, so I think that'll be good. But so far I like it. Hopefully I'll finish it by like Friday or something, but I had to start this book last night, but I knew I just wanted to at least start this, obviously, just so I could be reading another physical book. But one of my most anticipated romance reads for the year came out, and I'm just going to pull up the title cover for you. I actually thought that this book was coming out on the 28th. I don't know why I didn't realize that it came out last night, but I started Ashley Poston's A Novel Love Story last night, and if you guys know anything about me, Dead Romantics is like one of my all-time favorite books. It's one of my all-time favorite romances. Like, my top 3 favorite romance books is Dead Romantics, Beach Read, and Part of Your World. They're not in any order, but those are like my top tier romance books. Like, Dead Romantics literally lives in my heart and soul. I love that book so much. And 7 Year Slip was great too, but I just loved Dead Romantics so much more just because it really hits like, it's just so beautifully written. And I'm on page 159 now. I just bought it on Kindle because I don't think I'm going to buy the physical book. I already spent $10 on buying it here, so I just wanted to read it on my Kindle because I really did not want to wait. And it hit my Kindle at midnight, so I was able to start it last night. I got like 60-ish pages in last night, and then I've read over 100 pages today, and so far I'm really loving it. It's just adorable. I wish that they would kind of get to the romance already, or she would get to the romance already, because I'm on page 160, and nothing has really happened with their love story yet, but I feel like it's about to take off. But so far, I'm enjoying this so much. I'm eating it up. I should be done with this hopefully by tomorrow, late afternoon, because I'm going to read some more literally right now as soon as I get into bed. But so far, I'm really enjoying it. I don't know if I love it as much as Dead Romantics, but I'm enjoying it so much. And you know what's so funny about this book is that how can I enjoy a romance book that's about ghosts more than that friggin' Riley Sager book? Because it's like the way that Ashley Poston like marries romance with fantasy is so well written, and just I'm so happy to be reading one of her books again because the way that her writing flows is just so like magically written. It's just like so intriguing, and it just flows so beautifully that you just want to like get lost in the story, and you just find yourself flying through the pages because it's just so ridiculously well written. I mean, there are a couple things that she's repeating a little bit too much, but other than that, I'm really enjoying this story. I think it's so cute. It's about this woman who's an English teacher and English College 101 teacher, which is kind of like bullshit. It's like the bullshit class that you take in college where it's basically like telling you about college and your majors and blah blah blah, beep blah bloop. And what was I gonna say? And she actually is like obsessed with like this romance series growing up with her best friend Prue. And she's supposed to go on this trip to meet up with her book club up in like way further from where she lives. So she decides to take a road trip there. And it turns out that nobody else was going to be able to make it. So she decides to go by herself because she's like, I don't want to be home. I just want to like leave and travel and do something, you know, to leave my town and get over like, you know, memories of things that are hurting her because like her fiance broke up with her like a few years back, like her ex-fiance. I think it was like a couple of years since he did. And she has kind of like closed herself off to love, like kind of similar to the Spanish Love Deception. Like she also hasn't dated anyone in like a couple of years, and it's just kind of like very similar stories, but you know, I mean they're very different. It's just like the female main character's trope is a little bit similar, is very similar, obviously. So like again, they've closed themselves off to love at this point. But like she still believes in love. I believe her name is Eileen. Yeah, Eileen. And she like finds herself caught in a storm, and she almost crashes into this guy that's like in the middle of the road. It's actually really funnily written. And it turns out that she's stuck there because like the storm like won't let up. And she gets stuck in this town that turns out to be magical, and it ends up being like her romance series that she loves in real life. And it's just so cute. I'm eating it up. It's so adorable. I just love her writing so much. And before I go, I just wanted to say that I might possibly be able to talk to Ashley Poston tomorrow night because my friend is actually going to the book signing for a novel love story in Brooklyn, and she lives in Brooklyn, and she got the tickets for it, and she's going to go to her book signing. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so jealous. But at the same time, like me and her kind of bonded over books. I have only met her once. She's actually my boyfriend's sister's friend, but we do talk about books randomly here and there. And we follow each other on Goodreads, and we're always seeing what the other is reading. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so jealous. But at the same time, like, that's amazing. I was like, do you think you could call me when you, like, video call me when you meet her, just so I can tell her I love her writing and that I love Dead Romantics. And she said that she would, so I'm literally so excited. I'm like, it's like crazy at this point how much I fangirl over authors right now, but like her books are just so well done, and I just love the fantasy aspects. Like, not really any of the other books I've read besides like Abby Jimenez's books are kind of like very Abby Jimenez kind of like incorporates the weather a lot into like her love stories and like being struck by lightning and like stuff like that, but it's like done in the most cute way. So that's why they're still like my favorite romance authors. Like Abby Jimenez, Ashley Poston, and Emily Henry are definitely like my top three, and I really love Christina Loren as well. And Lynn Painter is great too. I loved Betting on You so much. I'm still thinking about that book on how good it was. Like, I just ate that book up. And that was my favorite book of the month besides Never Lie by Frida McFadden. Those were my top two books this month. I can't believe how long it took me to read Betting on You, and I fell in love with it. So I'm just on a huge romance binge now. Until Reckless comes out by Lauren Roberts, which is July 2nd, but that's still romantasy. And I'm still listening to Ashes of the Star-Cursed King, but I didn't listen to it today because I was listening to Spanish Love Deception, but now since I used up my hours now, I'm obviously going to be listening to Ashes of the Star-Cursed King, which hopefully I will finish by Saturday. I'm going to finish this book tomorrow and hopefully Spanish Love Deception by like Friday, and then I'll just finish Star-Cursed King. And then I'm probably going to most likely be able to start Nora Goes Off Script. I decided to read that as my last book this month. I might possibly finish it in a day. I'm not sure yet. But if I have nothing to do Sunday night, I'm just going to read it because it's only like a 200 and something page book. It's not even that long. I know I'm rambling, but I never shut up about books at this point, but it's only 253 pages. So I'm probably going to read this in a day, to be honest, and I'm so excited for this, but I wanted to pick like a super short book for literally the last day of the month to see if I can just finish it. And then I'll probably just start It Happened One Summer on literally July 1st, and then I'll read Reckless on, depending on if it hits Kindle on at 12 a.m., then I'll just read it that night, like when I get home from whatever I'm doing. I think I'm just seeing my boyfriend that day. And yeah, that's the reading journey I'm going to be on. So yeah, that's it. Bye.